Hey, Q here with a special report. Legislators these days have their panties in a bunch over the idea of cybersecurity, and they're so in touch with the current technological landscape that they're still using words like cyber all the way into the mid-2010s. And these are the guys passing internet security bills. Don't you feel safer already? So what have these tech geezers been up to lately? Well, with all the big breaches at big tech companies, they've started to make some cursory gestures towards the problem of security. Their latest attempt, the Cybersecurity Information Sharing Act, or CISA, is a wonderful piece of legislation. How wonderful is it? Well, the Electronic Frontier Foundation said it sucks. Groups of technologists banded together to say, no, this isn't the kind of legislation we need right now. This doesn't address the current security landscape at all. Even the Business Software Alliance, Salesforce, Reddit, Yelp, Apple, Twitter, and more made statements that this is the wrong approach, that it'll make their users and their customers feel less safe instead of more safe when using their services. Heck, even the Department of Homeland Security itself opposed some versions of the bill due to concerns over the privacy of American citizens. That's right, the DHS. Worried about your privacy. So with all this opposition, why did CISA just pass the Senate in a landslide? And why is almost nobody talking about this? Well, here's a thing that you'll quickly learn about politicians. Honesty is not their strong suit. And they're masters of hypocrisy too. They say they're going to do one thing, and they're really doing another thing. Why did all these tech companies have objections to a bill that was supposed to help them protect their customers? Well, because it doesn't. Under the guise of security, CISA is attempting to slip through things that will instead increase the ability of the government to conduct surveillance. Make no mistake, it's a surveillance bill, not a cybersecurity bill. So let's take a look at what CISA will do. Under the guise of cybersecurity, it basically means that all of your private data, all of the stuff that you do online when interacting with private companies, could end up in the hands of the government with no warning in advance, no way to discover it afterwards, and no recourse you can take if you do somehow manage to figure it out. Basically, let's say there was this big company. They have a security breach on their computer systems. Under CISA, what they do is they take all the data on those systems, including possibly private customer data, bundle it up, and send it to the Department of Homeland Security. The Department of Homeland Security would then distribute it among other government agencies, automatically in real time. The Department of Justice, the NSA, the FBI. It's a positive three-letter agency party. Then these government agencies would use the data to investigate the incident and then throw it away afterwards, right? Wrong! Basically, CISA gives these three-letter agencies the ability to store this data indefinitely and use it for whatever the heck they want to use it for. But these companies would do the right thing, right? They don't want to open themselves up to liability for sharing too much or lose the trust of their customers when it's found out that they were basically just dumping all their data on these three-letter agencies. Well, no. They can do all of this with a clean conscience because the bill indemnifies companies for whatever they share. It's basically impossible for them to share too much. Just dump it all on Uncle Sam, and Uncle Sam will protect you. Not only that, but Freedom of Information Act requests to see what data is among the shared stuff will just come back blank. Anything shared under CISA is exempt from disclosure. But who cares, right? You're an Anon, you use 8chan and it doesn't store any customer data. You may even be tech savvy enough to use a VPN. Well, sadly that doesn't matter either. If a breach happens, it'll trigger a cascade of sharing among different companies. If enough companies dump their data, then you will be effectively de-anonymized, your identity correlated, and all your posts decloaked in the eyes of the NSA and DOJ, revealed to have come from you. And you can't just go build your own private information network and expect to be safe. The bill covers that, too. So if this passes, we'll witness the death of quite a few things that I hold dear. The death of privacy on the internet, the death of anonymity on the internet. That alone should be considered treason. This country was built on the back of anonymous publications. The Federalist and Anti-Federalist papers had pseudonyms on them for a reason, you know. That was a big public debate, held using pseudonyms, that built the very foundations of this country. So while CISA has passed the Senate, it still has to visit the House. So there's still some time to put a stop to it. I'm gonna drop some links in the description. One to decidethefuture.org, which lets you send form letters to your local representatives, and one to house.gov, so you can find and contact your House representatives with your own personalized messages. The Snowden leaks created a public outcry when it was found that the NSA was breaching the security of private companies to steal your data. Under CISA, they wouldn't have to do that anymore. All of the data would just be handed to them voluntarily. Let your voice be heard. Let's stop this together before it's too late. And don't delay. A little birdie told me that the House voting may be as soon as the end of this week. Once you've done that, be sure to encourage others to do the same. The more people who hear about it, the more likely that people will take action. Thanks for joining me. I hope this helped you understand a little bit about what CISA is and why I don't like it one bit. Ciao!